And we're back with some more oxygen not included on Rime. Today I want to get this rocket chimney. Oh, I want to get this rocket chimney. Just most of the details of it hammered out. So one thing we really need to get our handle on is what kind of numbers we're dealing with in terms of steam production and that kind of thing. Heat-wise, I'm also going to need to make some changes. It turns out my supercoolant loop down here for cooling 12 steam turbines can't quite keep up. It seems, yeah, there's a little bit more heat coming out than I require. It's coming out of here at 25C, the coolant, when realistically it should be about minus 15. Yeah, this if I left this running, this would eventually overheat. So I'm going to have to chuck on a few more cooling stations along the route. Probably about three. Yeah, three more of these, or maybe, you know what? We'll get around to that later. What we really want to get a handle on is how much steam are we getting per launch and landing on each one of these rockets? To do that, we are onto a debug testing map. What we have here is just a replica of the rocket from our live playthrough. And then all we've done is I've replicated the launch tube. This launch tube is the exact same length as the one on the live playthrough. At the same time, I've tested this stuff before. I've tested launching a rocket out of a launch tube, but it was only about a standard size launch tube, maybe about this long, and I got about 1,850 kilos of steam between launch and landing. Between launch and landing, 1,850 kilos. So now we just have to see how much we get with the extended launch tube. I'm thinking there should be quite a bit more, but we'll never know until we actually launch the sucker. So let's give it a fire and see what happens. Oh, I should probably point out this map is covered completely in abyssalite. This is my testing map for that purpose. It just it cuts down on lag when you have that much abyssalite taking over for everything. I think we'll call that fair enough. Let's check the star map. Land rocket. Yeah, this is something you may not be aware of, but if you have debug mode enabled, or maybe it's sandbox. Is it sandbox or debug? You can call your rockets back early. Very handy for testing purposes. So, yep, there comes our rocket back, and once it lands, we'll just brick this sucker up. And poof, that would be a perfect landing. And in a perfect world, the doors would close exactly now. And that will tell us exactly how much. Now all we have to do is condense all the steam, and we will know exactly how much water we have in here. Oh, yeah, and that's what happens when you make a cargo module out of sandstone. Yep. Oops. I've warned about that. But yeah, it's for testing purposes. It's fine. Let's call that not a mistake. To condense all of this, I think the simplest thing is just temperature shift plates. And what we will do is diamond. Now, it doesn't matter. Something with high thermal mass. Is it dirt? Yeah, I think dirt is one of the better ones. Is that going to... Yeah, we'll just do a big, long string of dirt tiles all the way up. All we're trying to do is suck out all the dirt out of the system. You know what? Oh, let's see what happens to that. If it turns all to sand, we'll know I made a mistake. Wow, okay, that's... I was hoping that'd be more impressive. Anyway, I'm just going to start... Oh, there we go. Yeah, it did turn into sand. I'll do some playing around here and put in a lot more temperature shift plate tiles, and we should be able to chill all this water and get it to liquefy. That is a beautiful sight to behold. I just covered the whole thing. I used some quick blueprints here to just put in a crap ton of temperature shift plates really quickly. We've managed to condense quite a lot of that steam. Wow, that worked out pretty darn good. Let's put in some more here, I think. Where's it? Oh, damn, I'm going to have to copy them small, aren't I? Yeah, you can see them actually peeling off at the bottom as the heat catches up with them. But if we just do this, let's say, and maybe trim that down a bit, you get it? Yeah, the whole way. Why not? That should hopefully stop that all from happening. We can dig at the bottom of that. Wow, so much sand. Well, I'll skip this forward. We should get a water reading shortly. The numbers are in, and the numbers are amazingly good. Previously, I got 1,850 kilos-ish when I was using a smaller launch tube. This one gets 4,558 kilos of water. To put that in perspective, if we took that water, ran it through an electrolyzer, and until we had enough hydrogen to launch the rocket, hydrogen would be the bottleneck. You'd have plenty of oxygen. You would only need 1,482 kilos of the water to make enough hydrogen to fuel this rocket up, meaning you'd have an extra 3,000 kilos of water left over. Yeah, you'd have an excess of 3,076 kilos of water, even after you'd fueled your rocket. We're going to make plenty of water out of these things. As well as that, though, that's about an excess of 1.89, almost 1.9 kilos of water per second you'd be generating. That's what one rocket, this thing would effectively be a steam vent worth of water just being thrown at you, on top of it fueling itself. Also, you'd have some excess oxygen to spit up that much hydrogen. You'd have a bunch of leftover oxygen, about 700 grams a second. So you could produce enough excess oxygen to keep 7 duplicants fed with oxygen. And then, of course, it generates power as well. This looks like Yeah, this looks like it's going to be quite profitable if we can tame it and keep it, stable for forever. That's one thing I should really go over is my design methodology on this. When it comes to making this, there's been a lot of suggestions about different ways of harnessing the steam power out of it. One of the more popular suggestions was to use L-shaped steam tunnels, as in instead of having this doors to inject the heat in here, which is sort of wasteful, instead drill a hole. So knock out a tile here, knock out a tile here, and let the steam come in and actually be fed directly into the steam turbine. Unfortunately, I considered this heavily. This was my original plan when I first started building one of these, is I wanted to do that. But there's a dozen concerns. The main thing is I want to make this last forever. I don't want to ever have to maintain it. And by maintenance, there's a few different things you can mean by maintenance. For example, over, where is it here, on this rocket silo? You could classify this as being maintenance free, but realistically you need to leave 2 tiles up here and some ladder segments so that your dupes can come in here and repair the bunker doors when they inevitably get smashed. It's going to happen at some point. You can't help it. Over a long enough period of time, your rocket will come back during a meteor shower. These doors will be closed, your scanners won't be on, and you won't have enough detection radius that it will eventually smash the doors. It's going to happen. But if you have doors up here and ladder segments in, your dupes can come up and maintain it. That's not maintenance that you have to actively participate in. However, if I was to put, say, a hole here, what will happen is eventually at some point a meteor will sneak down here. It will come in at an annoying angle and come right down here and clip this, and Regulus will get jammed in the hole. Or carbon dioxide will get in here from a meteor that came down and it will go into the hole and start gumming up the works. At the same time, if it's too hot in here and the steam coming in is above 200 degrees, I'm going to be wasting heat, wasting power, and this may potentially overheat if I do that. If 500 or 600 degrees steam goes in there's going to be a whole bunch of excess heat coming at the top, and I may not be able to control the temperature. It led to an awful lot of complications, and I couldn't figure out a way to mitigate all those problems. I mean, I could put, say, a mechanical door here to crush the rocks, but then I have to put in a sensor as to when to turn it on and off. Or maybe I just activate it once a day, and then that would do it. That could potentially be used. I could stick in a steel mining drill, and that could mine out the area, which could also work. There was several options, but the simplest one was keep it self-contained, stick in a door, and we're done. This does make it more complicated to extract the water, but not really. To extract the water, what we're going to do is we're going to use gas pumps. So we just stick a couple of gas pumps made of thermium over this side. It's expensive, but say we stick some gas pumps made of thermium here and here, and maybe a few below it. They're shielded from meteors because there's no way a meteor can come in at an angle acute enough to get, it would literally have to come in at an angle like this, come down, and even then it can't quite get the angle to hit them right there, which means they should be perfectly safe, and I can stack in several of them, and then I can just pump the steam into a steam turbine. So the whole idea behind any design I try and make is I want to make it completely hands-off. I should never have to come back and maintain it. I want this to run, turn it on, walk away, and I should be able to come back 1,000 cycles later and it should still be running without any interference from me. It should never break down. That's the theory behind every single design I've ever made. For example, this thing here has been running about 1,000 cycles. I don't think I've touched it in 1,000 cycles, and it still runs. It still does its job, and it just keeps churning out petroleum again and again. It's the whole point of any design you make. This, I can't remember the last time I had to do any maintenance on this. I don't think I have. Yeah, these things just run. That's what you want. That's the number one goal when I try and make these designs. So when it comes to this, yeah, trying to access the steam directly just introduces so many complications. I'd prefer to just use gas pumps to extract it. And the joy of okay, there is one downside to using the gas pumps. It's going to cost power. We will have to dump electricity into it. However, these the current steam turbines we have, which we don't have enough of, are currently generating 10 kilowatts of power. Power is not going to be an issue. If we have to spend a kilowatt or 3 to pump out the required steam, I think we'll be fine with that. I'm pretty sure I can happily live with that. Is everything up there repaired? Yeah, I think that's all repaired. How's that doing? Yeah, I should probably close it up again. That's going to melt the wires, isn't it? Did I melt the wires already? Nope, I did not. Damn it! Yeah, I should really close those doors. No one else is allowed in there. Next up though, is we need to install a lot more steam turbines. But first off, we got to get rid of the mess down here. There is too much mess. Look at this. That's all got to go, and we're going to stick in a bunch of steam turbines through here. Thank God we've got some insulation to work with. If you are trying to do maintenance on one of these systems, I should probably point out what I've done is I'm replacing this pipe segment here with insulation. Once I've replaced that pipe segment with insulation, it doesn't matter if the liquid sits in the pipe, it will never flash. However, if it was ceramic, it would cause a problem. And once we've done that, yeah, all done. Once that's all done, what we can do now is we can grab the pliers. Where is it? Well, realistically, you'd be deconstructing that pipe segment right there. But since we've got the pliers enabled, we might as well take advantage of it. We can separate those out. Now the system can no longer pump, but, oh, damn it, why is that not getting dragged along? That should be removing. And it's not, that is bad. We will take you and we will pop you right there. That should get that flowing. That will force all the liquids and gases out, and those gases should go back into the tank, where they will get to... Oh, no. We have another problem. Why is this not pumping? Oh, the tank is full. There's nowhere else for it to go. Oops. I should have thought this through a little bit better. 1 second. Wait. I had a general idea right. I just had the wrong location. What we're going to do is I've queued up replacing the pipes right here with insulated pipe segments. So we're going to replace these pipes with insulated pipe segments. Then we're going to disconnect the system. Is that one done? Oh, that's still ceramic. But once those two are finished... Right, there we go. All we have to do is grab this, separate them out. And the system should dump all of the excess right back into the tank. That should be the end of that. Let's see. Yeah, so that's clear. I might want to still do the other side of the system over here. There we go. I've also disconnected them from there. Anything still flowing through the system should get dumped into the liquid tank. It's going to go a bit above my normal pressure session. But... Oh, come on. Just finish that up. I want to get that liquid oxygen out of there. I don't want any additional gases getting into this system. There we go. Oh, heat damage. Ah! I dumped oxygen in. No! That was the one thing I wanted to avoid. It'll either float up and go at the top, or it'll get destroyed eventually, I presume, or hope. Or it'll float down. I know, I think oxygen floats above steam. Anyway, I think we've emptied the system, have we? Yeah, system is now empty. We can start doing maintenance on this sucker. And by maintenance, I mean ripping it all out and putting the pipes in more convenient locations. The silly things we do just to get that little bit more efficiency and perfection out of our designs. So the only way that the dupes can now get up to the top on this side is if they hop across here, go up these ladders, shimmy across sideways and go up. I just need to squeeze this back one more tile so I can fit in this system just right. Right here, I'm going to try and do something silly. I'm trying to get rid of this viscogel. Well, I'm trying to move this viscogel airlock one tile to the left. But unfortunately, you can't really move them. The moment I try and move it, well, if I try and mop it up, this lock here, if I click on, say, that point there, it'll mop up each tile, the tiles each side of it. I'm hoping that if I just mop this tile, it will mop these 4 squares of viscogel. So I added in an extra viscogel section just to see if mopping it will not break the seal. Otherwise, I'm going to have to... Ooh, I think that worked. Nice, viscogel 100. Yep, that worked out perfectly. Right, so if you need to move a viscogel lock one tile to the left, just make sure you put a tile the other side of it and mop that tile instead. Works out just about perfect. Anyway, I'll scoop that up. I think that went well. We've got ourselves that extra tile of space we can use. Perfect. And it grinds on. We've got one extra steam turbine in place, so we've got 3 of them now draining heat out of there. 4th one, you know what, we'll turn that one on now. Temperature's above 190. We can... Yeah, there's way too much heat in there. It's still at 700 degrees in here. I can't even begin to go in there to do maintenance because it's just... Yeah, it's crammed. Well, okay, so what we'll do is... oh yes, I want to... put in another steam turbine here. It's a big surprise, but what I want to try and do is not have to get into, not let too much heat out. So I come up with a little method of sneaking in a door there without letting all the heat escape. Well, most of the heat escape. All we do is we diagonally build a door in there while it's shielded by a couple of igneous rock tiles. That generally keeps the heat in, though I still have to replace those with diamond when the time comes, but it does mean I can build them in there. And the best bit is that igneous rock that's in there gets forced out the side. Huh. Very nice little convenient way of getting a door in without killing myself. Of course, we still have to replace the diamond tiles, which is going to be the big problem. The reason being, the moment I replace the diamond tiles, yeah, the whole area is going to get incinerated. Yeah, that door, I can try and disengage it now, but if I do, a little bit of oxygen will float in. Plus, the igneous rock tiles will also get dumped in there. It's a minor issue, but it does mean that a little bit of heat escapes. Do you ever get to that point in a build and you're like, okay, this is starting to get out of hand? I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got 6 maxed out steam turbines. Well, okay, the bottom 2 are starting to finally eat the heat, so to speak. But yeah, this is starting to feel like this design got a little bit out of control. We're running over 5 tons of supercoolant through this cooling loop, all the way up to the top of the map, cooling down a ridiculous amount of steam turbines, and we've only just started. This design is not even close to being finished yet, and we're going to be doubling the amount of power coming out of it. Oh, this is Yeah, I'm getting to get that feeling that, yeah, we've gone too far. Oh, well. Can't go back now. Anyway, this is going to be how the pipe thing is done. The liquid oxygen should be coming out of here. It will go across, and I still can't enter here because it's still too hot, but it'll come out here, rotate through the oxygen pipes, and then come right back in. Same with the hydrogen. Hydrogen's going to rotate out through here. We'll put it through the hydrogen tank and then rotate it back in. Well, for that rocket, we still got to stick the second rocket in now, don't we? When we do the second rocket, I don't know if I have enough insulation to put that in today, but we're going to give it a shot. Once the temperature here in here gets low enough that I can go in, yeah, it's starting to get down to that level. I need to go below the liquid flash point of viscogel. What's viscogel flash at? 479. So I think I'm going to put my viscogel lock up here probably. I'm going to have to do a bit of checking, but I need to get the temperature in here below 479 before I do that. I can't even place it anywhere down here. It was too hot to even start. I was considering actually coming in from the bottom in here and going in and maybe putting my entrance down here. That might be a better idea. Let me have a bit of a think about this, and I'll get back to you in a second. After some thinking around and throwing in a couple of extra steam turbines because we're still trying to kill all that heat, I've managed to break in here. Oh, no, I don't want that mesh tile just there just yet. We want to delete the ladder segments. We're going to be putting another rocket base here. Now, I have heard, I haven't actually tested this myself, so I could be wrong, but I believe you can simply place a rocket on top of another rocket, and then once it's launched, delete the base, or once it's built, delete the base of the rocket, and the rocket will still work just fine, even with no base to land on. Then it sort of lands in midair, and you can effectively double stack at launch tube. However, haven't tested it myself, so we'll have to see if it works. Anyway, this is us getting back into this chamber for the first time in a long time. It's finally chilled down enough. I need to do an awful lot of maintenance while we're in here. Some of these things need to go like that door there. Yeah, that does not need to be there. That's vestigial. There's a bunch of random doors around the place that I'm going to have to deconstruct and replace with bunker tiles. Yeah, there's just all. This has been a bit of an experiment putting this all together. It was proof of concept, and now we're putting it through to, well, long-term sustainability. Let's see how it works, shall we? And it turns out, well, I stacked the rocket on top. I couldn't resist. So I just want to test this now. I want to test and see if this will actually work. God knows if it will, but we'll find it in a minute. That means we're going to need a brave astronaut soul to get on board and finish that automation wire. Oh, is that already set to launch? Yeah, maybe turn that off. Don't want that launching just yet. We're also going to need, since we're using the exact same bunker doors to launch this one, we're going to need a second automation sensor. What was it? A space scanner. We're going to need a second space scanner up here. This one is going to be set to detect the new rocket. I haven't decided on a name for it yet. What was the first one called again? Santa's sleigh? Is that it? Oh, this was pointed out in the comments. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Dupe. It shouldn't have been... The rocket should have been called Rudolph because of the big red nose on the top of it. My bad. But I'm not going to change the dupe's name now. They've got their name. It would be mean to take it away from them. But we need for this rocket chimney, we need a new rocket name and we need a new astronaut name. I've decided Saint Nick is what we're going to call this one. Namely because the first one's Santa's sleigh. I couldn't think of anything else sleigh related unless we call it Santa's bag of presents. Santa's sack was briefly considered before deciding, no, we're not going with that one. Now all we need is a duplicant who needs to be skilled up and thrown into the sleigh. I think May here can be repurposed for the task. She's got, she's got plenty of leftover morale, so we can quickly turn her into a rocket engineer without having to worry about her going crazy. There we go. Better. 28 morale, still higher than I'd like. I normally like to keep all my dupes around 20 morale, maybe a little bit more, but not much more. I suppose I could skill scrub her, but she's at 50 morale. She'll be fine. And once she's in the rocket, she's never getting out again anyway. It's one of those Black Mirror situations. So now we just have to come up with a new name for May before we stick her in the rocket. Since the last one was called Rudolph, we'll call this one Comet. Kind of suits with the space rocket theme, and, I think there's 8 of them, and it's Dasher, Donner, Blitzen, Prancer, Comet, something or other. So yeah, Comet will do. Perfect. Now we have our crew ready to go. We can go and check out and see if this works. I am interested to see if this double stack works. If it does, I'm going to need a lot more cooling. It does look like we have a lot of cooling, but trust me, that will not be enough cooling once we start getting up into the top. And I still haven't even finished the space section area. That thing's, how many tiles long was that again? According to my notes, this rocket silo is from the tip up here all the way down to the base here, 329 tiles. Just down to there. And then to the actual bottom of the whole chamber, it's 346 tiles. This is a pretty deep rocket silo. Anyway, let's double launch these suckers. Let's get it prepped and double launched. How is our piping looking? Oh yes, the piping. Let me just comment on the piping. I took way too long about doing the piping. I took way too long about doing the piping. I didn't have enough insulation to make all the pipes of insulation, so the oxygen's still made out of ceramic. I have no idea if that's going to work. Oh, and that, we need to deconstruct that so that someone can get in there. I just need to finish these off, and then we can get a launch in. I think I get everything prepped. Yeah, everything else is prepped. So I'll prep this up, and then we're going to launch 2 rockets in one silo and see what happens. We are ready to rock. Let's get our launch on. I've got both of them fueled up. Our fueling is now rotating constantly. It will never stop. Our rockets should theoretically never stop. Okay, let's see what happens. We flip the switch. Everything turns green. Oh. No. No, no. No, 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 no. Turn that off. Turn that off. That will send a launch signal in here. That is bad. I don't want that. I don't want a launch signal going that direction. I need to put in a brake here. I need to put in 2 brakes, actually. Oh, 1 second. All I've done here is I've stuck in an OR gate. An OR gate will effectively replicate the signal of whatever's coming in if you only hook up 1 wire. But if this sends out a green signal up here, it can't go back. It's a one-way gate. That's all I'm using it for in this instance. It's not a... It's an inelegant solution, but it will solve the problem. Now, let's launch this sucker again. Did any regoliths fall down? Okay, so it's a green all the way across the board. Let's go up to the top of the map. It pardoned my scroll. Doors are starting to open. Doors are starting to open. And I'm launching, of course, during a rocket. You would really not want to be Rudolph. You just ate a face full of rocket exhaust. Oops. Right, let's see how this goes all the way up the silo. We're scrolling. This computer can just about keep up with the scroll speed of the rocket on medium. And we're good. Okay. With that launched, all the steam turbines are now kicking into overdrive again, which is good. Well, let's have a quick look here. What I want to do is wait until this percentage is at about 50% for St. Nick, and then we launch the second rocket. Actually, we'll do about 45%. 45% should be fine. Boom. Now, I want to get 2 launches out of this. Now, the reason being, I want to see if I can automate this so this will continue going forever. So we're going to launch them, wait until they come back and launch again, and hopefully we shouldn't have any issues. And our first rocket is at about 42%. Let's see if we can't launch the second one. Green signals across the board. It should open up the doors up top. Boom. Yeah, no, we cannot keep up with it at that speed. We can almost catch up with it if we slow it down to medium speed. And there we go. Now, if we've done this correctly, they should never, ever stop. Santa Sleigh and St. Nick, both locked in. Doors should now close. I'm still considering putting in the regular steel doors beneath them. I'm just, right now, I can't afford the maintenance cost. The reason being, if I do put them in there, they're more likely to get damaged. And if they do get damaged, I'm going to have difficulties getting in because I have to wait for this area to cool down enough. It's just like I did when I was putting in the stuff down here. Oh, damn, that's a lot of scrolling. You know what? Yeah. So I had to wait until everything down here cooled down before I could go into to repair everything and do all the changes. I don't want to have to do that at the top. So I'll see about putting them in near the end. For the time being, let's just see how this rotational or double-loaded rocket silo works out. And here comes our rocket, which is way too fast for us. But this is the rocket that sits on top. Technically, it has nowhere to land right now. Oh yeah, it's faster than me now. Well, okay, there's ladder segments, but they can't actually land on those. But yeah, there it goes. Does it unload? Okay, unload starts. Fueling. Fueling has... Oh, okay, fueling's already completed because it's a tiny fuel tank on these things. And boom. Okay, I think we'll be ready to immediately relaunch. What's the temperatures down here? A little bit warm. Here, 475. Yeah, that would incinerate a viscogel lock. Damn it. Might still be a little bit too hot, though. The temperature's not getting injected directly into the door, so theoretically I should still be able to get away with a viscogel. Let's see what happens, though, when this sucker relaunches, or if this sucker relaunches. Oh, there we go. 394. Yeah, we could just about survive that. Yeah, we're looking. Rocket goes out the launch silo tube. Boom. Oh yeah, straight out the top. done it, dusted. Next rocket will be returning. Where is it? Santa's sleigh, 65%. It will be returning in 45% time. I think we have it. I think we have a double launch silo that will give us an enormous amount of energy. And I still have to put in the siphoning for the water, and I still have to put in an awful lot more cooling. We've got a lot of steam turbines in, but we still do not have nearly enough. Definitely not enough to take care of 2 rockets. Maybe enough for 1, but not 2. Let's skip it forward till the next rocket comes back. And our next rocket is returning. They look pretty cool when they're coming down, actually. That is a hell of a rocket silo. This one I have set to automatically stop, though. I can't keep launching these back and forth. I've got to put in some cooling solution. I've also got to put in a solution to extract all the liquid. There's still a lot of work to be done on this before it can be considered finished. Also, I've got to increase the cooling solution here. This has had a chance to cool down during the off period, but this cannot keep up with cooling all the steam turbines we've got running. What's the temperature in here like now? Temperature at the door, 300. Yeah. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to make this duplicant accessible at all times. At the top, maybe. Down the bottom, not so much. There's just too much exhaust that comes out here. What normally happens is the pressure up here is where most of the steam accumulates, because it hovers here on takeoff and landing. So we're going to end up with high pressure up down there, and then we're going to have to siphon it up the top. So I'm thinking we stick in a bunch of gas pumps up here. Those gas pumps suck up the gas and slowly siphon it out. Though, let me think. Buggery. I just done the math on this. This is going to generate around, with 2 rockets, we're looking at about 5.62 kilos of water per second. 5.62 kilos of water. Even if it turns out to be inefficient and we lose half a kilo of that, and we're looking at 5 kilos per second, that's 10 gas pumps. I will need 10 gas pumps just to take care of that. For every 2 gas pumps, I'm going to need 1 gas filter just in case carbon dioxide gets in there. So we're looking at, I'd say 11 gas pumps and 6 gas filters. This is going to be a monstrosity. That means I'm going to need at least 6 steam turbines to take care of just extracting the liquids, or just extracting the steam. So I need 6 steam turbines somewhere around here, preferably, extracting that much water. Oh man, what have I gotten myself in for? Okay. No, we can do this. It's just an engineering problem. That is all it is. The cooling down lower we can take care of. Since the gas is going to be mostly getting the heat from down here, we just need to stock this whole place with steam turbines. And I think I know how to do that quite efficiently. There we go. Quick blueprint, copy and paste, and that should give us all of the extra steam turbines you need. And also I've calmed down a bit. I've redid the numbers in my head and realized, no, it's only 5.6 kilos. I'll only need 3 steam turbines to take care of it. A lot of gas pumps, but only 3 steam turbines. So I just need space for 3 steam turbines. Probably, I may have to demolish this one. But yes, 3 steam turbines around here, and I can pretty much eat it all. I might, you know what? I could probably put all 3 of them just lengthwise. Instead of stacking them one on top of the other, just have 3 steam turbines, dump the steam into the room. Boom, problem solved. Might get a bit problematic if this place gets very hot up here, but we can put in a nice big thermal mass inside the steam room to help stabilize things. Just a quick demonstration of the level of ludicrousness we're getting to at this point. This is me just doing the steam turbines. It takes a little bit of time to do some of the stuff in the background, but I have to redo all of these insulated tiles with diamond tiles once I've got the door built diagonally. And it's just all these little minor time-saving pieces that make things not take as enormous amount of time as they should. But still, we're doing a lot of steam turbines here. Each one of these 2 tiles is an extra steam turbine to add to the stack. And I'm also going to have to keep an eye on these. Once they're done and the diamond plates are in, we'll have to close the doors and, get the igneous rock that gets jammed in there out. This is probably one of my bigger projects, I will admit. The carbon sink, that was a pretty large one. Dumping an ocean onto a magma biome, also pretty large, but this one feels dangerous and good. Good, I should say. Anyway, we'll skip this forward again while we get all of these diamond tiles in place and get ourselves set up for our next set of cooling. I've had a quick look at the footage there, and we're up to over 29 minutes, so I should probably... Oh, missed one. So I should probably cut this out about here. Next up, I'll just finish off all these steam turbines in the background. I think these are the last 3. Once these 3 are done, I'm going to have to put in some improved cooling. The reason being, there's not enough cooling to take care of this many steam turbines. I'm going to need at least 4 aquatuners to add to the steam turbines. just to add cooling, dump cooling into the supercoolant loop that's cooling the steam turbines. If I don't do it, we're just going to end up with all of them overheating and everything going nasty. As well as that, I've got to do the space stuff as well. I haven't put in any of the cooling on or any steam turbines in the space area because that one you have to be exceedingly careful. The reason being, if you mess up just one of them, you have to remove the backing plates. You can't put bricks over the backing plates, so you have to sort of do it once and then just never touch it again. Anyway, we'll cut this out here, and when we do come back, it's going to be 1 second. We'll just put that as sweep only, and there's sweep only. I'm almost done with those. It will be finishing off all of these steam turbines, all of them. It's effectively a solid wall of steam turbines the whole way up the map. This is going to be an incredible amount of power production. I can't wait to fire this up and see how it runs. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this as much as I am, and good luck.